Greetings, Artful Manifestors. Thank you so much for joining me for this timeless pick a card tarot reading. Whenever you come across this reading is when you're meant to hear it. I always align my intentions for your highest and best good. To choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of these lovely crystals I'm about to introduce, or one of the cards I'm going to reveal. Then in the description box below, you'll find a link to all the readings. All right, for reading number 1, we have Chevron Amethyst in the shape of a moon, a crescent. And for reading number 2, we have green opal. And for reading number 3, we have red carnelian in the shape of a heart. All right, let's look at the cards. For reading number 1, it's card number 33, black mulberry. For reading number 2, card number 10, corn, sweet corn. And reading number 3, card number 14, chives. Let your intuition guide you. Whichever crystal and or card you're most drawn to is most likely the reading meant for you. Of course, if you're drawn to 2 or even all 3 of the readings, feel free to listen to those, as there may be additional messages for you there. Enjoy your readings. Hello, reading number 1. You chose the Chevron Amethyst, also known as Dream Amethyst. It's a banded amethyst, but that blends the properties of amethyst with stabilizing white quartz qualities. And it amplifies intuition and psychic awareness more strongly than regular amethyst. It strengthens connection to higher guidance, spirit allies, and dream states, supports astral travel, lucid dreaming, and messages received in meditation. It's protective and clearing. It acts as a shield against negative energy, psychic attacks, environmental stress. It helps cut through illusions, self-deception, or manipulative influences. It cleanses the aura, creating a clear, energetic field for spiritual work. And it's very healing and aligning. It balances the third eye and crown chakras, harmonizing insight with spiritual wisdom. And the chevron, this little V-shape patterns, are said to point you toward truth and clarity, aligning your energy with higher path. It encourages release of addictive patterns, fears, or attachments that could cloud judgment. And the energy is very transformative and encourages inner growth. It enhances self-reflection, helping you discern between what is real and what is illusion. It brings courage when facing shadow aspects, wounds, or karmic cycles, and supports integration of lessons so that wisdom from challenges become embodied strength. It promotes peace and balance, calms the nervous system, and promotes serenity during meditation or spiritual practice, and can encourage restful sleep. You can place it under your pillow when you sleep to invite peaceful, insightful dreams. Helps balance logic and intuition so that decisions are grounded yet inspired. So great stone if you are somebody who feels a little more reliant on your head or a little too reliant on your heart. It balances both, gives you that good balance, nice, grounded, and centered. And blackberry is a tree that is connected to ancestral connection and lineage. Mulberries have been revered as trees of longevity and continuity, tying you to your ancestral roots, the deep purple-black fruit. And don't you just love that we got this dark purple fruit with the amethyst, the dark amethyst? This fruit symbolizes inherited wisdom, reminding us that nourishment flows from those who came before us. And sitting with it or meditating on the mulberry tree can awaken ancestral dreams or messages. So we already have this theme of messages and dreams in both the amethyst and the black mulberry. It's also a symbol of protection and resilience because the tree's ability to thrive in varied conditions lends its spiritual strength as a protector. Mulberry leaves were once food for silkworms, linking it to the magic of transformation and the weaving of protective veils. Carrying dried mulberry leaves or fruit was thought to guard travelers and seekers. The profusion of berries embodies fertility, creative flow, and abundance. So working with mulberry energy supports manifestation practices, especially those tied to prosperity and generative projects. Its cycles remind us of renewal, how life regenerates even after harsh winters. And the black fruit, the juice can stain your hands and your lips, and it symbolizes descent into shadow. So it's great for shadow work. It gives you sweetness and depth discovered during that shadow work, transforming it into sweetness. And spiritually, it supports the integration of shadow, helping you embrace hidden emotions, grief, or acknowledged truths. It's a tonic for courage, guiding us to walk through darkness to find the gifts within. If you have a mulberry tree on your property or near you, it's something that maybe you walk by, please let me know in the comments. Your guides are showing me that. In folklore, mulberry groves were liminal spaces, portals between worlds where fairies and spirits gathered. Black mulberry essence is said to open the subconscious, encouraging vivid dreams and mystical experiences. It's a good ally for divination, especially when seeking truth in tangled situations. All right, let's see if we can find out more. Queen of Wands. Five of Wands. And Queen of Cups. Wow. So interesting that we have two queens, and one's fire energy, one's water energy. And there are definitely two feminine energy ancestors coming through. One is a very much a grandmother type of energy, and another is like an aunt, kind of that eccentric, fun, alive, but also very kind, grounded aunt. The kind of aunt that would be your favorite, you'd love to visit because she was always so sweet to you. Others may have seen her as weird. She might have been the kind of like eccentric, quirky. She may have even been the black sheep of the family, but to you, she was very centered, and you loved all of her quirkiness. She was very kind. Now, that is the energy I'm describing. That may have actually been a person in your life, or it could be an ancestor further back. And then a very strong grandmother energy, also kind, but fierce and protective, loving and kind, but also powerful. Definitely a matriarchal energy. And it feels very ancient. Goes back many generations. All right. And I feel like, these two queens are describing two different ancestors, but they're also describing aspects of you. And what a transformation, right? To go from fiery energy to watery energy. And your ancestors want you to know that you have both. You hold both within you, and it's about finding that balance, because too much fire energy or an imbalance, or not enough fire energy, can cause an imbalance. It can distort, dim, or misdirect your energy. So that might be expressed as self-doubt, insecurity, fear of being seen, hiding your light out of fear of judgment or rejection. It can show up as hesitancy to express your gifts, or a tendency to shrink back. And distorted fire can also arise as the passion turning into irritability, jealousy, controlling behavior. Instead of inspiring others, distorted fire energy can try to dominate them, or it burns too brightly. Think of it that way, at others' expense. So it's fire misdirected, which can become drama, scattered energy, or burnout. It can also block our creativity because wands is that fire energy is the energy of creativity. So it could be holding back creativity or intuition because of perfectionism or fear of criticism. It could express itself as mood swings, acting impulsively without alignment. It's too much fire just is ungrounded. So we're looking for that balance. So if it's too much of this, it could be best of intentions, but it's so powerful and so strong that it's at the cost of others, or it's so dim, it's at the cost of yourself. And there's also something about between you and this very ancient ancestor, there were many women in between who struggled with this balance. So even if you don't struggle with that balance, there were many women in between that struggled with this balance. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman listening to this reading. We all have mothers and grandmothers, whether we knew them or not. And some of them may have struggled with having to hide themselves, not being seen or not being allowed to be seen. Or trying very hard to be seen because there was so much oppression or shame, or having to take that kind of backseat role, working hard but quietly in the background. So you're meant to balance that, and your ancestors are reaching out to you to help you do that. And this Five of Wands is conflict. It's that ancestral pattern of conflict. So in your lineage, whether you experience this in your lifetime or your mother, grandmother, even your father's mother, grandmother, it doesn't matter which side it was on, whether or not you knew them, it's still in your blood and bones. There are now echoes of energy reverberating in your lifetime of rivalry, comparison, scattered energy. This could be like siblings against siblings, neighbors against neighbors, internal battles for worthiness or recognition, right? After being silenced or oppressed, there may be a tendency toward division, voices that clash rather than weaving together, passions erupting without being directed into a sacred purpose. Some of your ancestors may not have known how to express their power without suppressing or overpowering another. And that's not just the female ancestors, but also the male ancestors, both. So you're meant to take what was once fighting, that conflict energy, that passion that was directed towards conflict, and turn it into conversation. The ability to hold tension without attacking or collapsing is part of the medicine that you bring. And the Five of Wands shows scattered sparks. You're here to gather them into a single flame instead of competing. You're called to organize your energy, organize energy toward common goals. So the energy within you, energy in dynamics of communities, families, creative spaces. Now, that being said, if you are estranged from your family, this is not your ancestors telling you that you're meant to go back and talk to your family if that's unsafe for you. And unsafe can simply be that they drain your energy. You putting yourself in spaces that are collaborative, where you experience that organized energy. It could be a chosen family, a community, a workforce. You are that medicine, and it ripples back through time. So you're healing your lineage, even if you don't directly heal family dynamics with your biological family in this lifetime. It's all about you changing your energy. And you can rewrite this energy that you inherited by showing that not all friction is harmful. Sometimes friction is the spark of creation. So reframing conflict as a chance for innovation. You transform ancestral strife into fuel for artistry, healing, and new structures. And the way that you can deepen your connection to your ancestors is also in this Queen of Wands. It's about embodying their power, not just asking. So your ancestors are reminding you that wisdom is not only spoken, it's embodied. And the Queen teaches you to walk with presence, to move with the charisma of fire. She channels ancestral memory through lived action. Every gesture, every choice becomes a prayer. And you can literally do rituals of what you know in your bones that your ancestors did. You know, we all have ancestors that sat around fires. It doesn't matter what color your skin is, what continent your ancestors come from, where you live now. We all have ancestors who sat around fire. So right there, building a fire in a natural way, it's so powerful and transformative, and that's going to help you embody that connection. But also just everyday actions. Ancestral connection deepens when daily life becomes ritual. So even lighting a candle before you sit down to do something intentionally, thinking about your ancestors, embodying your ancestors when you cook, cooking a meal inspired by your ancestors. blessing your water before you drink it, speaking the names of those who walked before you, if you know them. This queen's magic is practical, sensual. It utilizes the senses. So what you smell, what you feel, what you taste, what you see, all of that. And it's woven into the rhythm of ordinary life. Your lineage wisdom is not outside of you. It burns within you like the queen's flame. Trust your passions, trust your intuition, trust your creativity, because they're not just yours, but inherited strengths passed down. To express them is to honor those who lit the way before you. And the Queen of Cups is gentle yet powerful. Your ancestors want you to tend the waters of emotions. They're reminding you not every conflict must be met with more fire. The Queen teaches you to listen beneath the words, to sense the unspoken pain, jealousy, or longing that fuels discord. Healing comes from seeing, not from winning. And a very similar message came through in yesterday's reading in one of the piles. If you got that and now you came to this, wow, that message is for you. Respond, don't react, right? The Five of Wands shows quick, fiery reactions. This queen sits upon still waters, and look at her with her eyes closed. And this bowl, I see some of you scrying like your ancestors with a bowl of water. I see you meditating. I see you going within. I see you taking deep breaths and seeing others' wounds. You know, water is the element of our emotions. So this is a gift and a tool. You can begin to see people's wounds as the place that they're coming from, rather than being in that present moment about whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or do. So that's going to help you to not react. You're being reminded to pause, breathe, and allow your intuition to guide your response. And this is going to also transform those inherited patterns of shouting over one another into a lineage of calm truth-telling. And just like this may be the energy of an aunt, if you have nephews and nieces, you learning to do this, whether you see those nephews or nieces, it still ripples out. It is a quantum effect. So this bowl that she holds, right? It's not a sword, it's not a wand. Your role is to hold that emotion, to hold space, to let emotions flow safely. So hold emotion, hold space, not hold on to it or embody somebody else's emotions, but just understand where they're coming from, and that's going to give you that compassion. And by becoming the vessel, you model how energy can be contained. So it's like you're transforming, you're helping people transform their fiery emotions by transforming yours and holding space for them. Sometimes silence is the best response rather than meeting their energy. Just like if a child gets upset because another child accidentally steps on them or runs into them. They weren't looking where they're going. They run into another child and that child falls. And now they're upset and crying and blaming. You console them in a calm manner. You don't meet their energy with a matched frequency and intensity, right? Hey, it's going to be okay. Take a deep breath. And you help them co-regulate. And even if you don't tell people, adults, that it's going to be okay to take a deep breath, you holding your emotion in this very calm way in their presence is still going to help them co-regulate. Your ancestors are saying that you are powerful, a powerful person of transformation. And then, so it's like you receive this emotion, you hold it. You can even picture holding it in a bowl rather than taking it within you, right? And then in that bowl being transformed, and then you pour it out in love rather than spilling it with chaos and fire. And though she is calm, the Queen of Cups is not passive. She rules her realm through empathy. And your ancestors encourage you to embody leadership through kindness, showing that tenderness can be just as strong as fire, if not more strong. Because when we are reactive and we match other people's intensities, it means we don't have control and sovereignty even over ourselves. So when we don't rise to the occasion, we show how powerful we are. Wow. This is an amazing, amazing reading. Reading number 1. I'm just so in awe and impressed with you and your ancestors. Please let me know if this resonates. And I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. You chose the green opal, and I love its soft, mossy color. It's known as a stone of spring. It helps clear stagnant energy and invites new growth, supports releasing old wounds so the heart can open again, encourages a fresh perspective, especially after times of heaviness or grief. It's heart healing and emotionally balancing. It resonates with the heart chakra, easing emotional fatigue and restoring a sense of hope. It brings gentleness to self-healing, nurturing, compassion toward yourself and others, helps dissolve fear-based patterns so love can flow freely. It deepens your connection to nature and earth wisdom. It's deeply grounding. This mossy green essence strengthens your bond to the earth and her cycles, aligning you with natural rhythms, making it a good ally for those working with gardens and plants or animal spirits. enhances attunement to subtle energies of the land, stones, trees, rivers, water, bodies of water, moving water. It's spiritual cleansing and clarity. It clears the aura of heavy, lingering energies, leaving a field of lightness. Encourages intuitive clarity by helping you separate what is truly yours from what you've absorbed from others. Excellent for meditation. Its energy is steady and calming, like resting in still waters. And it strengthens your creativity and enhances your inspired vision. It stimulates your imagination in gentle, sustainable ways, not like a burst of fire, but a flowing stream. It helps channel dreams and inspirations into tangible form, especially creative or healing work. Supports spiritual vision, quest, or dream journeys where insight comes softly rather than dramatically. Love it. So beautiful. All right. And the card that you chose, corn, says ritual, 10, completion. Corn, maize is not only a staple food, but a sacred being. Plants were here before people were, and they have spirits too. Corn has been honored as a divine gift in many traditions. Spiritually, corn embodies abundance, nourishment, and the weaving of human life with the cycles of the earth. So lots of earth magic, earth energy in this reading, tangible blessings. Corn is a bridge to ancestors, especially indigenous or Mesoamerican lineages that regarded it as sacred. But, it's quickly spread. And so, again, it's one of those things that our ancestors, no matter where you're from, your grandparents, great-grandparents experienced the magic of corn. It's regarded as a bridge to those because it was such a staple. It carries the memory of generations who cultivated, cooked it, prayed with it. Eating or offering corn can become a way of communing with ancestral wisdom and gratitude. And because of its many kernels and because of it being a staple crop, it is a symbol of fertility, abundance, and prosperity. There's so many kernels on each cob, which symbolizes multiplicity and plenty. And it's often used in rituals to attract prosperity, fertility, whether it's of the land, the body, the spirit, bountiful harvest. And it reminds us that life's abundance grows from small seeds, patiently tended. It's grounding and it's a sustenance of spirit. Definitely can be offered to non-physical energies as a food that sustains body and community. Corn also sustains the soul. It grounds you into the cycles of planting, growing, harvesting, aligning your energy with Earth's rhythms. It brings stability and rootedness, especially in times of transition. And because there's so many forms of corn, it can be flour, masa, popcorn, a ceremonial drink, tortillas. You know, we can eat corn in so many ways, consume it in so many ways, use it in so many ways. It shows the magic, the alchemy of transformation. And it teaches adaptability, that raw potential can become nourishment in countless ways. And rituals that corn invoke the alchemy of turning spirit into matter and matter back into spirit. I mean, it says ritual here. It's sacred offerings and blessings. Cornmeal, kernels, or cobs are used in offerings across traditions to honor deities, spirits of the land, and ancestors. Carrying or sprinkling cornmeal can act as a protective blessing, creating sacred space or calling in guidance. Its golden color is linked to solar energy, vitality, and life force blessings. I see your ancestors working to bring blessings into your life. Oh, okay, a bunch of cards fell on the ground. Give me one moment. All right, 3 cards landed upright and the others landed down. So I'm going to take those 3 cards that landed upright. We have the Sun, the Wheel, and the World. Wow, really powerful, strong, ancestral energy here. I mean, look at these stags, this hawk. We have a chicken, another kind of bird, robins, a dog, a rabbit, a little bear, a feather here floating down. Nature is definitely a medicine for you and a balm for you. Either you already know that and your ancestors are confirming it, or this is a nudge from your ancestors to spend more time in nature, because you will find your ancestors there. They will move through different animals and you'll just feel it. It's just like, look at the fairies floating around this stag. It's not just a normal stag. You will encounter some animal in nature, in the wild, whether it's a bird or a fox or a deer, and you will know that it's a message from your ancestor. You'll feel it, you'll know it, you'll connect with it, you'll have an understanding, a download, and also just a connection. Just something about being in their presence. You'll know that, a reassurance that they're with you. And the Sun's message is for transformation, illumination, honesty. The Sun exposes what has been hidden. So stuck emotions, grief, self-doubt, Your ancestors urge you to let light in. Tell the truth of your feelings. Speak them aloud. Write them. Share them with trusted people. And what is revealed to the light begins to heal. So this isn't about retelling stories in a way that activates those emotions, but it's just about sharing your emotions so that they can be illuminated and healed. And also the sun, if you have been feeling down, stagnant, sluggish, grief-stricken, spending some time in the sun is going to revitalize you. The sun is vitality. It is joy as medicine. And the sun reminds you that play and laughter and creativity are not frivolous. They are alchemical tools. Joy brings it burns through stagnation. Just like think of these sunbeams being joy, and it's going to just like it burns away the clouds, it burns away stagnation. Even when our wounds ache, making space for delight calls in renewal. Forced laughter, playing games that energize you. And it's warm. This is growth through warmth. You're about to experience a huge growth period. These are all major arcana cards that jumped out of the deck onto the floor. And this stag with the sun really stood out to me. Plants grow toward the sun, and so does your spirit. Instead of pushing yourself through force, let your growth be drawn naturally by what feels warm, life-giving, and true. Follow the warmth. And I've said this before in several readings. Stand outside, face the sun with your eyes closed. If it's high in the sky, you don't want to hurt your eyes. And let those sunbeams just hit your face and penetrate your eyelids. And if you've heard this before from me and you have done it and you've experienced that power and healing force of the sun, please let me know in the comments. I'm hearing sun child. Your ancestors are saying you are a sun child, a child of the sun. With the power of this sun card, old wounds can become compost. They're not erased, but you transform them, you alchemize them into fertile ground that's going to create many blessings. The sun shows that what once hurt you may now feed new life. They're showing me, the fish put in the ground with the kernels of seed to fertilize it and nurture it and bless it, becoming compost. They're showing me somebody who compost in their yard, throwing scraps in their yard or digging little holes in the yard and burying those potato peels and eggshells and kitchen cuttings. If you do that, your ancestors see you do that. It is a sacred act. You're feeding the earth, the soil, you're nurturing it, and it's going to bless you in return. And they want you to, when you do this, and perhaps some of you already are, think about your own wounds or losses or stagnation, anything that you want to compost. When you put that in your yard, to make it a ritual act of you composting that stagnation, that wound, that, I'm hearing despair. So beautiful. All right, the wheels, just as corn grows by the sun, rain, and season, your blessings multiply when you align with natural cycles rather than pushing against them. Remember, it's just like the ocean ebbs and flows, just like the seasons turn from spring to summer to fall to winter. All right, we all experience winter spiritually, and we all will experience spring. So trust that spring is coming, because it definitely is. So using those cycles of energy, you spending time in nature is going to help you tap into your own personal cycles of creativity and rest. So aligning with that rather than pushing against them, right? Plant, nurture, harvest, rest. Let your efforts follow this type of rhythm. Tap into your rhythm. For some of you, it can be little daily rhythms of you get up in the morning and you do something. Maybe it's like setting an intention, then you take an action, then you do some work, and then you rest, and then you start that cycle over again. For some of you, it's a weekly thing. For some of you, it's monthly. For some of you, it's an annual type thing where you may work on a project, staying up late, getting all kinds of productivity done for a month or 2 or 3, but then you have a whole month where you're kind of resting and recuperating and revitalizing, recharging that energy. Everybody's different, and that's okay. You're finding your rhythms. And the wheel teaches that abundance is not static. It rises and falls, then rises again. So to multiply your blessings like the many kernels of corn on a cob, release attachment to where the wheel was and trust where it is turning to. It's going to come back around. Each rotation brings new opportunities. Flow with the fortune. Sacred timing. Corn teaches patience, and the wheel echoes this. Your blessings multiply when you work with divine timing. Not everything can be rushed. Allow your projects, relationships as well, your creations to unfold in their proper season, right? We can't force plants to grow and bloom and produce at our will. So have that same patience. And this is co-creation with fate. The wheel reminds you that you are not turning it alone. You have ancestors, spirit, source, unseen forces like Gaia that are also moving with you. When you align your actions with higher guidance, your blessings are carried further than effort alone. Corn multiplies because it is shared. Seed becomes many cobs. Nourishment is passed around the table. Your wheel turning multiplies when you share your gifts, teachings, or abundance with others. Giving creates the spiral of receiving. They're showing me somebody with chickens also. I don't know, do you feed your chickens corn? Somebody feeding their deer, putting corn out for the deer. Or I also see somebody putting out bird seed. It doesn't have to be big givings. Putting out these, composting in your yard, putting out seeds, corn for animals. It doesn't have to be a big investment for you, but it is big for those animals, and your ancestors see that. And following the guidance of the sun and the will leads you to the world. Remember, we have a 10 on this first card, which is about completion. And the world is the last major arcana card, also completion. Your wounds and blessings no longer feel separate. This is wholeness and integration. You are beginning to see the big picture and how you are composting grief or perceived mistakes or wounds into blessings. The shadows you've faced and the light you've embraced are woven together into greater harmony. The world shows you standing in the center of your life with nothing missing, fully present, fully alive. The sun gave you joy, the will gave you rhythm, and now the world brings you the moment of celebration where your blessings expand outward. This is that multiplicity we were talking about. It's a card of completion that births new beginnings. It continues the cycle of the will. And like the corn that ripens into both nourishment and seed for future growth. So it's completing something that's celebrated, but also leads to something new for more growth and expansion beyond yourself. The world is not only personal, it's collective. Your transformation multiplies blessings for your lineage, for your community, and the wider world. You become a thread in the great tapestry, consciously woven into the cycles of creation. This is unity of heaven and earth. This outcome connects you to the sacred balance between spirit and matter. The corn you plant and harvest is not just physical, it's spiritual nourishment. All plants have spirits, and when you consume them, you're nourishing your spirit, not just your body. And you're guided into a life where the sacred is lived daily, not only in ritual moments, but where each moment is a ritual. Cooking, eating, drinking your water, being outdoors, creating, working, knowing that you're doing all of it with source, with spirit, with elemental energies, with your guides, with your ancestors. It's also legacy and continuity. The world signals that the blessings you cultivate now will ripple outward. And leave a lasting mark. This is ancestral healing in motion. Your efforts create continuity, healing past patterns, and gifting future generations with a new story, even if they're not directly in your lineage. Wow. Reading number 2. This is so amazing. Please let me know if it resonates. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 3. You chose the red carnelian, which was carried by ancient Egyptians, Romans, and warriors across cultures, where many stones carry the energy of serenity. Carnelian awakens and ignites and restores. It's a stone of vitality and life force. It's known as the stone of energy. It strengthens chi, prana, bringing vigor and endurance, helps overcome lethargy, stagnation, fatigue, especially emotional exhaustion. It awakens the will to live fully, to step into the day with power. It encourages confidence and strengthens courage. It's a stone of bravery, dispels fear, doubt, and hesitation, supports speaking your truth and showing up unapologetically. It emboldens you to act on dreams rather than keeping them in shadows. And it nourishes your creativity and passion. It's strongly connected to the sacral chakra. Carnelian fuels artistic expression, sensuality, and inspired action. It helps you move your creative ideas from your imagination into tangible form. It rekindles passion in relationships and projects alike. It is protective and grounded fire. Historically, it's been used as a protective amulet against envy, psychic attacks, and accidents. It grounds fiery energy into productive channels, preventing it from burning out of control. Provides a shield for those who are sensitive or easily drained by others' energy. And it's associated with Isis, an ancient goddesses of fertility and transformation. It awakens sacred sexuality and the divine feminine fire that creates and sustains life. It supports lineage healing around shame, suppression, or fear of personal power. It transmutes apathy into drive, wounds into wisdom, inertia into forward movement. It's particularly supportive during new ventures, transitions, or rites of passage, and reminds you that transformation requires heat, the fire that purifies and reshapes. And the card that you chose is Chives, and it's equally energetic. I love the alignment of the red Carnelian with Chives. They may seem humble, but their spirit carries a bright, protective, enlivening, is that a word? Enlivening energy, like tiny little green wands growing straight from the earth. They embody both nourishment and subtle magic. Across folk traditions, chives have been used not only as food, but as guardians of health, vitality, and energetic clarity. They're protective, used in wards, like warding energy. They're related to garlic and onion, and chives carry the same strong protective signature, repelling negativity, ill-wishing, stagnant energies. You can plant them near your home or add them to your meals, and it shields your space. It blesses your meals. Their sharp, pungent essence cuts through heavy energies. Their vivid green shoots embody spring energy, renewal, and life force rising. Spiritually, chives awaken energy that has gone dull or sluggish, encouraging action and forward motion. Eating them or working with them can support physical vigor and emotional alertness. And it's a perennial. Chives die back in the winter and return in spring, carrying the lesson of renewal and resilience. They teach us trust in cycles, that even after rust or loss, life returns again. And they help to build confidence and boost courage. The bite of chives stirs the senses, breaking through hesitation or fear. Spiritually, they embolden you to speak clearly, act decisively, and honor your truth. They bring a fiery undertone of self-assertion wrapped in gentle green. And chives grow in little clumps and spread, symbolizing community, kinship, and abundance that multiplies. In magic, they remind us that blessings grow stronger when shared. And chives help clear the mind, sharpen focus, and bring clarity to muddled situations. They're often linked with cleansing rituals, especially of the subtle body or auric field. All right, let's get some tarot and find out some more about this revitalization. I feel so much energy coming from your reading number 3. Oh, okay. The Hermit. Okay, that was too many. Yeah, I'm gonna put these back because that is too many. go. 4 of Cups. And the Magician. All right. All right. Your ancestors want you to tap into your power and act with courage. They're reminding you that, excuse me, that courage is not always external action. The Hermit says, withdraw, reflect, and cultivate your inner flame. By stepping away from the noise of comparison and conflict, you hear your own soul's voice clearly. The Hermit holds his lantern. It looks like he's gathering fireflies. So it's like spending time by yourself, gathering your inner light, your energy, calling back your energy. Yeah, it's like you need that time alone to call your energy back. This lantern is a symbol of a symbol that your power is already within you, waiting to be revealed. Acting with courage comes from carrying this light into dark or uncertain spaces, not to overpower, but to illuminate. You see how dark it is. Going into the forest of the mind. And this is ancestral wisdom within. He walks with staff and cloak, much like the druids and mystics of old. Your courage is amplified by remembering that you walk not alone, but with your lineage behind you. Their wisdom is the staff that steadies your step. The Hermit teaches that boldness is not only rushing forward, sometimes it is having the patience to wait, the strength to hold stillness, the bravery to walk a path others cannot see yet. It's not theirs to see. At least not yet. And there's also a discernment as power. His lantern lights only the next step, not the whole road. And your power grows as you learn to act with courage in the present step, trusting that the path will unfold as you walk. It's being illuminated for you. It looks like lavender growing. If you grow lavender, let me know. There's this calm courage with this Hermit card. Your guides are showing me an actor who, when they perform, they embody that character. And they want you to go through the same process. Having this calm courage. So, for example, if you are having a conversation with someone and for whatever reason you feel disempowered, whether that's an internal struggle or something that that person says or does that tries to disempower you, calm, courage. So again, this message is coming through of pausing before you speak, not feeling pressured to speak, and that pause is powerful. It's that calm courage. So that when somebody says something to try to get your goat or disempower you, to just look at them and not say anything. And that's going to be so brave and powerful, so much more than you being defensive and speaking. And the Four of Cups is it's how you can, funny enough, it's how you can revitalize your energy. And this card came out in yesterday's reading as well. So if you received that in yesterday's reading, please let me know. So this is about noticing the gifts before you. Again, so there's, this message of comparison and feeling like you don't have when you do have. But I see, like you see this figure, they're not focused on these 3 cups. This is a different kind of Four of Cups depiction, because he is holding the cup rather than a cup that's being offered, and he's not looking at it, he's looking at the 3 cups. This is like completely different. And there's not a figure offering him the cup. He's offering himself the cup. Wow. It's like, and it looks illuminated like this light, right? It's like you've gathered your power and you're holding it now. So your vitality is restored when you look with fresh eyes at what is already present. Blessings, opportunities, nourishment. Even if it feels ordinary, it carries magic. That's what your ancestors want you to know. And this card often signals boredom or numbness or emotional heaviness. Your ancestors want you to know your energy is not gone. All right? It's there. This is a quantum existence. And so even in this picture where it looks like if these fireflies were this figure's energy and he's calling it back or she's calling it back, it's all part of the quantum field. Everything's connected. So in a way, you always have it. So it's more of a shift in perspective, right? That's what it is. Seeing that you are powerful. So revitalization begins with receptivity, holding this cup, and now we see these little fairies coming to him, right? You're not chasing anything, you're receiving, you're open to it. So you're opening your heart and you're accepting what life is offering. Sometimes weariness comes from focusing on what isn't working, and the Four of Cups asks you to soften your gaze and turn towards gratitude and allow even small joys to refill your cup. Right? Sitting, this visual is perfect. Just sitting and closing your eyes and guiding yourself through moments of gratitude, kind of like making a list of all the things, all the blessings that you have. And you can even, have your hands like this, like you're receiving it, and visualize all the blessings going in there. Just like these little fairies, just visualize these little lights or these little fireflies. Just visualize them coming to you, and naming the ones you already have. And this is going to also fill you with that light. And also giving yourself space to rest. Because, with the Hermit and the Four of Cups, revitalization can come from resting, pausing, reflecting, reconnecting to the wellspring that's within. Revitalizing mind, body, and spirit. Nourishing all of that. And I'm seeing here divination. If there's something if the stagnation is coming from confusion, I see that being cleared away by this same process, by taking a moment to be by yourself, be still, call back your energy, your power, go within and align mind, body, and spirit. Then you can divine your next step. And by doing that, the outcome is the Magician, which is aligned power. So by following the Hermit, you discover your inner light. And by following the Four of Cups, you learn to receive Spirit's gift. The Magician is the result. Your power is no longer scattered or forced. It is aligned. You become a clear channel for divine energy. It's revitalized vitality. The Magician stands with one hand reaching toward earth, or reaching out like a conduit of life force. It even looks like a crystal in his hand, right? So he's got his wand with a crystal here and a crystal here. So it's like channeling. And look at this figure here, channeling that energy. The stagnation of the Four of Cups is replaced with that flow of energy. Energy that once felt blocked moves through you with purpose and clarity. So the Hermit gave you wisdom. The Four of Cups opened you up to receive. And the Magician uses both to create. And I'm also seeing illuminating the path. Illumination, it's aligning what you want, what you illuminate that you want with the energy of receiving, opening up to receive, and channeling that through you. The magician uses both of those energies to create. You will find yourself not only dreaming, but bringing visions into reality, whether that's art or healing or projects or work or rituals, blessings for yourself and for others. It's integration of all the elements. The magician holds all the tools: wand, cup, sword, pentacles, and this outcome shows you embodying wholeness, balancing fire, water, air, and earth in your life. Your vitality multiplies because you're using all of yourself, not just one part. And where once there was maybe hesitation or disconnection, the magician awakens courageous creativity. Your ancestors say, with this outcome, you step into your role as a co-creator with spirit, weaving energy into matter, blessing it into form. Wow. Your power is not scattered. It's not borrowed. It's remembered. And in stillness, you find your inner flame. In openness, you receive Spirit's gifts. And in courage, you create a new world. You are the wand. You are the vessel. You are the voice of magic itself. Reading number 3, so amazing, so energized. If you have been feeling disenchanted, not energized, I see that revitalization coming back into your life. Very amazing. Empowered creation. Reading number 3. Please let me know if this resonates. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.